Hey guys, how you doing? You can see it's a beautiful sunshiny morning today. Again, 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, what a wonderful day. Getting that fresh air in me today. My lungs are pumped. I'm on fire. I'm really excited. It's Saturday. What a great day for everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic time at home. And if you're not, hey, listen, I hope this brightens your day up. What I want to talk to you about, well, what I want to talk to you about is this actually. How much I hate doing this, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning when I first started. I detested it. You know, my bed, I told you about my bed. I was snug as a bug in a rug. I loved it, really cuddly, warm, cozy. Oh, so good. But you have to make that decision, and that's the decision we made. And that is get out of bed, get going and get moving. And that's what I did. And the only thing I would say to you is this, is that when you first try these things, you know, you hate it. Like, I don't know, give an example. I don't want to go to the gym. I can't stand it. But then you get to the gym and you start doing the exercise, you feel fantastic. Or I don't want to go down the shops for a walk. And then you do it and then you feel fantastic. Or I don't want to do... Oh, the only thing I'd say to you there, right, is cooking. Because, as I said to you before, with me and cooking, I nearly blew the place up once. So I don't think I'm ever going to do that. But I can tell you, a funny story. It's a bit embarrassing for me because it happened to me a long time ago. I was probably around my 20s or something like that. And it's not like today where, you know, kids are cordon bleu chefs and they absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've never been one for the kitchen. And I'm going to tell you a little story in a sec. But first, I just want to tell you that, you know, the kids these days, 11, 12 years old, they're absolutely phenomenal. You know, they listen to the stuff on the internet nowadays and they get cooking and, you know, they're making like beautiful cakes and pastas and all sorts, you know, fantastic. I love it. But that's never been me. I'm more of a person that if, you know, I could burn toast, you know what I mean? It's just like, in fact, I do like burnt toast, but there you go. What I was going to say, my brother's really good actually. I can tell you a little story there. I just thought, a couple of weekends ago, it was they were doing a surprise for his girlfriend's mum. And she was a special birthday. And what they did is they'd done a nice cake for her and everything. And they was going to do these vol au vents, you know, the ones with like, they put tuna in, they put prawns in and all that. Anyway, he's you know, lastminute.com, my brother. So he's left it to the last minute, gone to go and buy everything. Can't get it in the shops. So he's like, oh no, now what am I going to do? Well, the only best thing he can do, he's got to make them himself. So he goes and gets all this stuff. You know, the kitchen looks like Beirut, looks fantastic, but everything's everywhere, you know. He is quite clean and tidy, but in the kitchen at this particular time, it looked bad. But he just crafted this thing, right, and just put it together. And at the end, the result was phenomenal. I mean, that's one thing I will say for my brother, 100%. Is he is a really good chef. I mean, he's a plumber by trade, so he's good with his hands automatically. But he's just very, very good at stuff like, well, he's good at most things when it comes to his hands, mechanically, stuff like that. Very good. But when it comes to making, cooking, you know, he does a blinding roast dinner. So I love a Sunday dinner, but most of the time he's down his girlfriends at the weekends and stuff. So occasionally we get these blinding Sunday dinners and they are to die for. The only trouble is you have to sit in the armchair for about an hour to get rid of it after. But yeah, they're brilliant. So what I was going to say to you is I am not that. That is not me. And I'm going to give you this story about it actually. I still don't know why I'm telling you all this, but it's just funny on a Saturday. So we're going back quite a few years ago, and I used to live away from home in a place up near in the Black Country there, right? A lovely place in Shropshire, beautiful. And I remember ringing my mum up one day because I wanted some advice. I'd just go around the house, and I thought, I know what, I'd do a nice roast for her. So not a roast, but you know, like I wanted to do some. You know, mashed potato, some peas and a nice lamb chop or something. Well, I got the lamb chop and I was well away with that, you know, no problems at all. And basically what happened is, I won't spoil it, well, I'll give you a little spoiler alert. Well, what happened is I've done all that looks nice, and put the potatoes down, but the potatoes are really crunchy, right? They're like all bitty, they've got pieces in them, and I just couldn't get them to go, and I thought, how do I get these to go? My mum always gets these and they're beautiful. They're like lovely, they're all fluffy and everything. And I just couldn't do it. I just was like, don't work it out, Wayne. Can't work out why I can't do it. It's all right, sun's out. I'll put my tunnies on. Couldn't work it out. Just had no idea, no clues whatsoever. And I thought to myself, oh, it must be a way. Must be a way of doing this. Can't work it out. Anyway, long story short, I actually told someone in the pub where I used to work about my experience. I'll tell you the actual the punchline in a minute, but about my experience. And I ended up being in their Gazette, the special, like, newspaper Gazette, as they called it, because this is what happened, right? So I told him the story, and the actual story was he couldn't believe it. Now, most people can't. Even now, when I tell them this story, they just look at me and say, well, I won't tell you exactly what they tell me, but there you go. So when I phoned my mum up and I said, Mum, I just can't get these potatoes. I've tried everything and they just won't. I've got the butter in there. I've crunched them all down. I've got the butter. Everything's great. They're not, but I just can't get them to do what they're supposed to do. And then my mum said to me, well, Wayne, how long have you cooked them for? And I said to her, what, cooked them? She went, yeah, how long have you cooked them for? I said, oh, I haven't cooked them or anything. I thought I crushed them. So I thought I'd crush them up first. So that's my experience. So don't ever come to my house or expect me to cook if you ever get a chance to meet me. But I do love food. So that's that. Anyway, I don't even know why I was telling you that story, but I just felt it was funny to say right now. And just really what I've said there is that sometimes you just don't want to do things. Now, mine is cooking, right? So we're not even going to attempt it. Gordon Ramsay, love the bloke, fantastic. But listen, man, you would never convert me because it's just not something that I have any passion about, right? I like to eat, but listen, as far as I was years ago, we gave up hunting our prey, didn't we? I do hunting, in business, right? Because you're not looking for new customers and new people every day, but we're not actually having to eat what we kill. Well, don't like the idea of that myself, so I leave it to the experts to do the cooking. I still listen nowadays. I'm much better. There's a thing called the microwave. It's been invented. It's brilliant. But there's also the oven. I'm good with the oven. I'm there you go. Listen, I'm not talking about being a wonder star. I'm just talking about me being me. Anyway, what that's got to do with anything today, I have no clues. But it was quite interesting to tell you that. And all I'm going to say is this, is that the other thing you can do is get a lot of great information into you. Right now, I've had loads of great information into me over the years. I'm not saying that I'm going to be a cook, because that's not something that I read. I don't read cookbooks. But if that's your passion, go and get some cookbooks and start reading them. However, what I would say is that I read some great novels all the time. I absolutely love James Patterson. And if you've never read a James Patterson book, you're missing out, because this guy's dialect is absolutely amazing. The way he makes the story flow. Someone told me about it years ago, a copywriter. He said to me, if you ever get a chance, read a James Patterson book. He said, because you've got to watch the flow and see how it works and how he does, how he structures sentences and this, that and the other. And I never took it. To be fair, I never took any notice at all of that lesson, which was a wrong thing to do at the time. But what I did do is I went out and bought the books, and I had loads of them, and I absolutely couldn't put them down. I loved them so much, and they are so powerful, and the stories on them are brilliant. So if you ever get a chance and you love fictional, like detective sort of things, stuff like that, awesome, man. And Alex Cross, you probably may have even seen the movie, because there was a movie created for Alex Cross, and it's about a black detective who basically he's like a doctor as well. So like a, what do they call it? Not a pathologist, like it's a difficult one. Interesting. Best thing to do is watch the movie. But you'll see he's like a detective, but he also got the knowledge, So he's really switched on. And then there's this bad guy, because there's always a bad guy, right? And he goes around causing havoc, and the idea is obviously for him to catch him but there's a beautiful twist and there's some great things in the middle of the story. And that's what you're like. You'll enjoy that. So go and watch it. Have a look. See what your thoughts are. Let me know. The other thing as well is feed your mind. Feed your mind with good stuff, you know. It's all right watching the TV, but I don't watch the TV that much now. You know, the only time I watch it is a bit at night. But what I try and do is most of the time I'll have a book in front of me and I'll be reading something where it could be an autobiography. At the moment I think I'm doing, I think I'm reading Winston Churchill, some of the stuff from Winston Churchill, because what a great communicator that man was, you know. And it's really interesting, some of the things in his life. And there's one particular passage in one of the parts that I'm reading, and he's talking to his best friend. He's 16 years old. He's talking to his best friend. And his best friend at the time says to him, well, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to go into the army, you're going to do this and that and the other. And he actually predicts when he was 16 years old, which is phenomenal as far as I'm concerned, that he predicts that one day he's going to save England. And if you read the contents of what he says about saving England, you know, he doesn't say about fighting them on the beaches and that particular speech, but he just talks about saving England itself, yeah? And it's so powerful because when you read it, you really get drawn into the words, you get drawn into the sentence, and you get drawn into the sentiment. And it's like putting good knowledge into your brain. Now, it may not be that that's your thing, and that's fine, but find something that's good. And like, even if it's an autobiography for someone, but not like what I call what do they call them? Like a celebrity that's come up through Big Brother or something like that. No, a real person that's had a long prosperous career, or someone that really had something to offer society, whether it's Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, whether it's Simon Cowell. I mean, that's great as well. When I think about Simon Cowell, you know, David Williams is fascinating as well, believe it or not. But some of these people that, you know, like me, I read one about Ronnie O'Sullivan just recently, and it wasn't something that I would have thought, that's interesting. But when you start really digging into it, you get so much information from there. And I think that's the power. Sorry, I need to put these on again. I think that's the power of what we've got, is that your mind will listen to information and you can get it through your earbuds. And today we've got so much audio. You can download most things off the internet. You can get audio pads, you can get audio MP4s, 3s, whatever they call it these days. You get all this different stuff, so there's no excuse not to put decent stuff in your brain. And I'm talking about, like, think about it, I'm going for a walk, I could put anything on. I could put Metallica on if I like, because I do like that, like crazy music sometimes. Or I could put a bit of Michael Bublé. Depends on my mood. So if I'm in a certain mood, I love a bit of Bublé. You know, everyone loves a bit of Bublé, let's face it. I mean, Mr. Bublé, I'll take my hat off. You are the man when it comes to that sort of music. It's fantastic. You know, my other fan, or my favourite, is Robbie Williams. Often singing a few of those. Love the guy. Excellent. And he, again, when you read his note about him, when you hear about stuff about him, he's gone through some seriously difficult times in his life. You know, and the lyrics to his song, one particular song, when I'm drunk I dance like my dad, I started to dress a bit like him. Early morning when I wake up, I look like Kiss without the makeup. That's a good line to take to the bridge. And Strong, I think it is, or I can't remember the song, but yeah, in the lyrics, listen to lyrics to songs as well. Sometimes their emotion that they're portraying in the song is telling you, giving you the message. And, you know, they're things that really can resonate with people. So if you can start, and this is what I like to do, again, it's entirely up to you. However, start to listen to good quality information. Start to put that in your noodle, or noddle, as they say, every single day for the next 90 days. Maybe let's make it 180 days. And then come back to this page, okay, and put on there the results of what's happened to you and your life. And I'm really sure if you take that step, just that one step, you'll see a massive difference to you and your life and your family. And my final note is, don't try cooking at home. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.